There are pieces of battlefield gear that earn their reputation after the war is over, not during it. Paracord is one of them. People today treat it as the gold standard for strength-to-weight ratio, but the soldiers who fought through the mud, frost, jungles and deserts of World War II weren't always carrying parachute line. What kept supply crates lashed, weapons secured, shelters upright and field repairs possible was a different material entirely. Something so tough, so reliable and so widely used that it became the quiet backbone of daily wartime survival. Yet it never became famous because it wasn't glamorous, and most of it never returned home. Before we get into what made it so exceptional, viewers must know this. The cordage used across World War II armies, militias and resistance networks wasn't just strong. It was engineered from necessity, not luxury, and its strength came from a combination of natural fibres and construction techniques that modern survivalists overlook. The cord in question was tarred marline or tarred hemp twine. Sailors knew it long before soldiers did. It was used for centuries to rig ships, secure sails, mend nets, and perform every job that required rope, capable of surviving salt water, friction, and weather better than untreated fibre ever could. When World War II erupted and militaries mobilized across oceans, mountains and deserts, they quickly recognized the value of this naval material. Unlike paracord, which relies on synthetic nylon, tarred marline was built from tightly twisted hemp fibres impregnated with pine tar. The tar bonded the fibres, increased tensile strength, made them resistant to rot, waterproofed them, and prevented fraying even under constant stress. Field manuals from the era reference it repeatedly, although only specialists ever paid attention to it. What made tarred twine so effective was, well, the combination of material and treatment. Hemp itself has a long history as one of the strongest natural fibres available. Twisting those fibres in a specific direction increased the uniform load distribution. Once impregnated with pine tar, the twine held its shape, resisted abrasion, and gained a tacky outer layer that gripped surfaces rather than slipping. Nylon paracord excels under clean, controlled tension, but hemp twine excelled in dirty, wet, unpredictable environments, exactly the kind of conditions World War II troops face daily. Whether in the North African desert or, the Pacific jungles, this cordage didn't turn brittle, melt, or lose integrity. Applying the method today requires more than simply buying rope. The old craftsmanship really mattered. The key was how soldiers maintained and reinforced the fibres. One practical example preserved in supply logs, it describes how troops strengthened their twine by running it over a heated block of tar before critical use. This added a fresh coating, making it even more resistant to water and friction. A modern user can replicate this by gently heating pine tar or even pure beeswax mixed with rosin and pulling natural fibre twine through it. Once cooled, the fibres bond tightly, producing a line capable of jobs that would cut or melt through standard cordage. The range of wartime uses for this twine was enormous. Infantry soldiers used it to lash gear to their packs because it held knots under load without creeping loose. Tank crews used it to secure equipment to turret rails since it resisted grinding friction. Partisans used it to build deadfall traps and snares because it blended into the environment yet held steady under force. Naval units relied on it for everything from hoisting crates to repairing lifeboat rigging. Engineers used it to tie rebar before concrete pours, and even to secure bridging timbers when metal fasteners were scarce. The versatility came not from the material alone, but from the technique of construction and treatment. Modern survivalists can replicate the same advantages by preparing their own tarred line. One method is selecting a high-quality natural fibre twine, preferably hemp or linen, coiling it loosely and warming a small container of pine tar until it is just fluid enough to coat. The twine is drawn through the tar slowly, ensuring full saturation. Once coated, it is hung in loose loops to cool and cure. The result is a cord that becomes almost weatherproof. It grips stakes and beams, holds knots extremely well, and withstands tension that would snap or fray untreated line. For those practicing off-grid construction, shelter building, trap setting or field repairs, this type of cordage performs with a reliability that paracord cannot match in wet or high-friction environments. Another overlooked feature of tarred twine was its predictable failure point. Soldiers valued this because they understood exactly how much strain it would take before breaking. Paracord stretches under load, which can cause unexpected snapback or shifting in shelter structures. Tarred hemp had minimal stretch, meaning that once tied, a structure stayed tight. Medieval riggers had known this for centuries, and World War II engineers rediscovered that advantage when improvising fortifications and camouflaged cover. Even in modern bushcraft, the ability to create a non-slip, rot-resistant grippy cord from natural materials is a powerful skill. It means you're not dependent on synthetic gear that degrades under UV exposure or melts near high heat. It means you can maintain your cord indefinitely by recoating it. It means your equipment becomes part of a historical lineage stretching from medieval ships to World War II supply lines, and now to backyard fieldcraft. This is the kind of forgotten technology that deserves a return not as nostalgia, but as practical wisdom. For more historically grounded survival techniques like this, subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and share this video with others who appreciate forgotten skills that still outperform modern gear in the field.